Starting off today's mail openings with Bock Bock, a rich German dark lager from Fort Garry Brewing. They describe it as having a rich toasted malt character with a delightful hint of nuttiness, caramel finish, and a perfect balance and depth of flavors. But really, I just bought it for the name. Although I do trust Fort Garry to make decent beers, so it's not that much of a risk. Wow, that's got all kinds of flavors. That's cool. So the first thing in the mailbag is something that was sent anonymously to my P.O. box. There's several of those in this, and there's actually, in the last several mailbags, and in the next couple, there's going to be a bunch, because I got a whole influx of things to my P.O. box back in October, and that's kind of where I'm at in my mail queue right now. So let's see what I was sent. It is more of these T10 automotive LEDs. Wonder what color they are this time. Place your bets, place your bets. To me that looks like a really deep orange, not quite red, but yeah, that's what my colorblind eyes say. Then again, the ones I got last time, to me they looked white and everybody told me that they were pink. So please leave your answers down below in the comments. And thanks to the anonymous donor who keeps sending me all this cool stuff, or anonymous donors, whoever you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unusual number. Let me go find a link for you. So when searching for orange automotive lights, everything came back as amber. So I researched as amber, and I found basically the exact same shape as these ones. So this search will find you this. Apparently you can get 20 for $6.53, although based on what I have been told in cryptic emails from some of my my donors who wish to remain anonymous, they have been searching for stuff on cheap auctions and been sending that to me. So I think that's kind of what's going on here. Somebody went searching, found these, and found as many different colors as they could that were on auction at the time back in, when did these arrive again? Back in October, early October. So, but as always, search around, make sure your sort is price plus shipping lowest. If you search by auction, you might be able to get some that are really cheap. All kinds of fun stuff out there. Right, on to the next thing. And the next thing to come off the pile is actually something that I ordered. Doesn't have any customs lies on it, so we'll just have to find out. Ooh. Oh, this is LED filaments. These are nice, long, super flexible LED filaments. Looks like about 12 centimeters worth, I think. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. I saw a few different people playing with these things, and I thought they would be really cool to tinker with and experiment with. That is actually how I base a lot of my purchasing decisions, not on what's going to be useful, but on what I think might be cool. So usually when it comes to these filaments, the one that's marked with a hole in it is the positive end. Maybe I'll just go with 3 volts initially and something like 20 milliamps. That's unlikely to cause any strife to any LED. So we will just see what happens. Okay, so it's not too bright at that, but it looks kind of orangey to me. It is hitting the current limit at 2.5, so let's turn it up. 26. It's a little bit brighter. Turn up to 30 milliamp current limit. It's still limiting, and it's still under 3 volts. 40 milliamps, 2.8. That's fairly bright though, especially given the lighting conditions around here. Reminder, that's what it looks like turned off. There's probably going to be some sort of information about it on the sale listing, I hope. So let's go and check that out. 10 pieces, 3 volt, ultra slim cob LED flexible filament, spiral bulb filament, retro Edison bulb lamp parts, diode lighting strip decoration. Whew, that left me out of breath. Currently, they're selling for $11.68 with free shipping. They were $10.28 when I bought them back in September. I got the red ones, 130 millimeter, 10 pieces, but there are a multitude of different colors available: pink, warm, green, blue, red. And you can get them all the way up to 300 millimeters long. Not quite sure why I didn't do that. The price is like twice as much. That's why I didn't do it. So for voltage, they claim that they're good anywhere between 2.8 and 3.2. And for these lengths, which includes the ones that I got, then I should be able to allow it to draw up to 200 milliamps. Wow. But there is one of the applications that they suggest that these are reasonable for. Fun stuff to play with. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with them for a practical project, but just for playing around, they seem like fun things. All right, let's see what's next. It says components. It's another thing that was sent anonymously to my P.O. box, so could be any old thing as usual. We'll find out. What do we have in here? It's a module and a plastic sheet and some header pins and a key. Oh, this is RFID stuff. Okay. You can tell it's RFID stuff because it says so right there. So this is not just any old plastic sheet. This is an RFID tag, and so is this. And this will have connections on here that you can send out to a microcontroller. If I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I played with RFID, but if I remember correctly, you don't need all of those pins to talk to it. You can choose from SDA and SCK or Mozzie Mizo. I'm not sure, I'll have to look it up, but basically the traces on here around the board, these traces here running around the circumference, ducking down through vias, coming back up the other side, those are an antenna, or a set of antennas, a transmit and receive antenna probably. They send out a signal, which these things, when you're close enough, they receive it, they rectify it into enough voltage to operate the chip that's on here, and it retransmits back to this thing. And this thing then interprets it and fires it off to your microcontroller. Depending on which version these are, some are read-only and they just have a serial number in them and they allow them to identify themselves to the thing. Others have a little bit of memory in them and you can actually program them so you can keep a few hundred bytes of information on the card itself, and then you can reprogram it to impersonate another one. So with the type that's pre-programmed with the factory serial number, it just is its own serial number and that's it. But these ones, I could read data off this one and write it back to this one, and then this one could pretend to be that one and vice versa. Or you could program them all differently, or you could do all kinds of different things with them. It's been a long time since I've experimented with RFID, so this could be fun to play with, because I think it's different than the ones that I've had before. Well, it was pretty easy to find. Just search for RFID RC522, which is what's written on the thing. Sorted, of course, lowest first. And here's a whole bunch that are at auction right now for under 50 cents. Or if you wanted to not bother with the auction malarkey, then you can get it for an entire 99 cents Canadian. So digging a bit deeper into one of those listings, these are the 13.56 megahertz RFID system. There is the standard for the data communication and everything else. It supports cryptographic encryption if you choose to do it. Two-way data transmission up to 424K per second. So the only thing I don't see in here is how much information you can store on the key fob or card. But it's not going to be huge. It'll be well under 1K, probably 512 or 256 or somewhere in that range. Not huge, but it's not really designed as a data storage device. But with that amount of data, you can put a huge encryption key on there, or things like that if you need it. That should be fun to play with in the future. As I said, it's been quite a few years since I've done anything with RFID. Normally, I save the biggest to last, but these three came in one envelope together that was kind of shredded, so I don't normally open those big envelopes to see what's inside, but these three came together, so I'm going to assume that they are all part of the same thing, which is, that's a BNC cable. That's a BNC to BNC cable. And any guesses? Is this probably the same cable again? Yes, it is. Why did they send them in three separate smaller envelopes and then repackage them into one larger envelope? I have no idea. So this is three of them. One of them's half a meter long and the other two are a meter long. They are just standard BNC to BNC test cables, and that's exactly what they're for. Connecting my oscilloscope to test generators or other circuit elements that have BNC connectors on them. Just test cables. Nothing exciting. Handy things to have around the shop. Half meter, 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter BNC male to BNC male adapter connector cable. Pigtail wire for CCTV camera, BNC connection cable accessories. Yeah. Currently, the half meter ones are $5.63. The 1 meter are $4.09. It's free shipping if you buy more than $10 worth, which is what I did back when I bought them back in, it was like September or something, I think. These were $2.92 for the half meter and $3.33 for the 1 meter. So prices have gone up. As always, search around, find the cheapest ones that you can find at the time that you're ordering, etc., etc. Now then, these don't say anything about the characteristic impedance of the cable in use. They're claiming they're for CCTV cameras, so I'm going to assume that they are nominally 75 ohm. And yes, before anybody says my test equipment is probably 50 ohm unless I'm working in video. I know any RF stuff I'm playing with is going to be 50 ohm. Yeah, I know. Half a meter or 1 meter, and I'm probably not going to be working in really high frequency stuff. It's not going to make a significant enough difference for it to matter to me. Your mileage may vary. And that brings us to the final item, which is the largest of the anonymous donation items. It claims to be an LED light, and it feels like it's in a cardboard box. 3D shadow light. Open special is different. Door lights upgrade parts. Well, shadow light, what does it say? LED new energy, energy savings, and environmental protection, and low consumption lighting. Dedicated car, easy installation, no need to change the vehicle. 3D laser, a strong visual senses, more dynamic and more stylish. More dynamic and more stylish. 3D laser. Well. These are more T10 style LEDs. These ones have 4 LED chips on them, and this neat little metal-ish knurling around them. Well, let's see what these are. Oh, wow. Oh, that's bright. That's really bright. And, so what color would you say that is? It looks kind of like a yellowish white, but yellower than a warm white, to me anyway. I don't know. Help me out in the comments here. You know, colorblind problems. I've been scrolling for a while through the listings trying to find one that matches this exact form factor. I'm using basically the same search as I did last time, only substituting yellow for amber. And there is such a dizzying array of bulbs available in this general T10 form factor, but I'm not finding the exact one that I got here. So congratulations to whoever sent this. You have stumped me in trying to find this one. Oh, these are close, but that's 6 instead of 4. Yeah, these T10 bulbs are a whole world that I'd never really explored before. I mean, they're intended for automotive, and there's a million different kinds of cars, so of course there's going to be a million different kinds of bulbs, but they all fit into a fairly standard pin arrangement and general size. So I will, well, just check the link. There's already a link down below for the other T10s, so just change it to whatever color you want and scroll to your heart's content until you find something you're interested in. Now I have to come up with an electronics project use for these things. I wonder if there's 3D printable template for the socket, and I just put some copper tape in or something. Oh, there they are right there. This set isn't exactly the cheapest ones in the world, but that is the same physical form factor as the ones I've got. They say that these ones are for side marker lights. Okay. Oh, and related, there's a whole bunch of other ones, and they're all really expensive for a pair of them as well. I'm going to guess, as I mentioned before, that my anonymous donor probably got these at auction cheaper. At least I hope so. I'm hoping that whoever it is not paying like $10 for a pair of these things. I hope they are finding them cheap, because that's kind of the example that I have tried to set on this channel, is that you can do electronics on the cheap, especially with the various online websites that you've seen me buying stuff from. You don't need to break the bank like in the old days when there was only one place that you could buy stuff from, and it charged like industrial prices or, government agency kind of procurement kind of prices. So yeah, if you search around for auction, you should be able to eventually find pretty much any of these things for a lot less than that. And there is the contents of today's Mailbag Monday haul. Wonderfully random as always. Fun stuff, useful stuff, interesting stuff. I just love doing this. So things that I ordered are these filaments, 130 millimeters long in red. Those, again, most of this is just for playing with and experimenting with and tinkering with and just having fun with. That's what those are going to be used for. These BNC test cables. Test cables are always useful to have around, and since I've got a signal generator, a scope, and a few other things around here that have BNC connections on them, I thought it was time to grab some jumper cables for that. And then the random donations from anonymous donors. We have a couple of different types of these T10 bulbs. This is the third or fourth form factor of these things that I've got. I've got a few different ones in this form factor. They're all 12-volt LEDs, and yeah, I've just got to come up with creative ways to use them. I mean, they're fun to have, they're fun to play with, but ultimately, parts need to get used for something, and I have to think up some ideas for those. If you have any cool ideas, drop them down below. Maybe I'll just make my car look like a rainbow or something. No, probably not. And then there's this RFID kit. As I mentioned, I did play with some RFID stuff 2 or 3 years ago. There was some RFID stuff came with one of my Arduino kits, but I don't think it was this variant. So I will have to experiment with this one and maybe pull out the other one just to show a couple of different types. I don't know if that's something you'd like to see. Let me know down below as well. Of course, one person must, and they're the ones that sent me that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I always appreciate that. Welcome to a new year. It looks an awful lot like the previous year to me so far. Oh, and I almost forgot to thank my Patreon supporters, my YouTube channel members, for helping me keep the beer fridge full and helping me buy the things that I do buy. I appreciate that, as well as the anonymous donors. Thanks for watching, everybody. Questions or comments? Yeah, you know the deal. Talk to you later.